when we were traveling the car, I just overheard his students saying that whenever sir goes to deliver lectures, it's always starts raining. So I think we at Bangalore and all the areas we should invite sir so that we have good rains here. So welcome sir, and for the next 45 minutes we will hear how Bangalore is done
inviting me to interact with you all. And nice to see a young kid here in the audience, because for them I have to make sure that water and air is available to them. That's my agenda, and that's where my research goes. Okay. So now, why we are facing water crisis. According to me, we are missing the water urbanism in planning. Which means whenever we talk about development, we think only buildings have to be there. We are losing the vegetation, water bodies which constitute the paved surface. We are converting that in which constitute a porous surface into the paved surfaces. That is the reason. And groundwater recharge is not happening, and many people do not know how the recharge of groundwater happens. Okay, that I am going to explain with all the examples soon. This is a kind of summary. Okay, then there is our lakes are interconnected in Bangalore, and we have lost the interconnectivity in Bangalore. Now, what is to be done? I am sure as a Rotarian you can bring back the glory of Bangalore if you decide today. Creating ecological pore spaces through trees, parks, forests, wetlands, etc. I also interact with Rotarians quite often. Every time when I go for the meeting, they say, sir, we have done 5 million trees and all. When I did the quantification, I am not finding that 5 million. So that is where I want to check where it is. 5 million, is it on the earth or it is in Bangalore? Okay, now let us look at how was Bangalore before you all were born. Okay, so in when you look at 1500 up to 1800, the city of Bangalore had 1452 water bodies. We had 82% green cover. At that time, temperature in the city was about 14 to 16 degrees Celsius during the May month. And for during summer, we had 0 degrees Celsius. And we were growing apples in a place called Palace Orchard, closer to my institute. And our elders had created a water bodies which used to meet the requirement of the domestic as well as irrigation and also the flood. There were no floods at that time. Today, we have shooted the temperature to 34 to 37 degrees, and we have only 193 water bodies. The era of Kempegoda, then our the garden city or a pensioner paradise of 70s. We lost to the garbage in 90s when the Chief Minister talked about Singapore. I was also excited at that time. I was quite young. I thought that okay, the city will become Singapore. But I realize now there is a place called Singapura. When I go to the airport, which was used for dumping the solid waste, that gentleman has created entire Bangalore into Singapura. That's a tragedy. And today the city is dead. And look at the lakes in Bangalore. We have 3 watersheds and lakes are interconnected. Now interconnectivity is lost. How we lost the interconnectivity? I have done the analysis. All the influential people in Bangalore are sitting in our drains only. So that is a problem. So, and what is the other this one? See, we don't plan the city. Unplanned urbanization. We have lost the sinks for the water, which is wetlands, and the green vegetation. Then floodplains we have lost. Water scarcity is quite a common phenomenon. Then the narrowing drain with concretization, and also we are losing the vegetation. In the name of rejuvenating the lakes are converted into concrete pole. These are unfortunate things. Now let's look at how Bangalore is changing with the time. This is what GIS does. You can visualize the spatial data. As a doctor, if you want to find out all your patient, this map will help you. So now 1973, 68% green cover and 8% is red. Those are the buildings. And you see that 1973, the city was a garden city. And 90s, with the industrialization happening at Pini and Kormangala, things started changing. Then 2000 with ITBT sectors coming in the outskirts, we see changes happening in the outskirts. Then 2006 intensification. Then 2009 further intensification happened. Okay, and look at the kind of the increase in urban pixels from 7.97% today to the 86%. Concretized thing. Our landscape is concretized, brains are also concretized. Inhuman fellows on the earth. Okay. Now, what is the situation in 2021? It's about 83% or 84%. In 2022, it became 85% and now it is 86%. We have reached a situation like this. I have come across some of the senior citizens using the oxygen cylinders in the late evening. And water scarcity is also there. And there has been a 1078% increase in the concrete area. We have lost 88% vegetation and 79% of water bodies. In another 5 years, you will see 98% of Bangalore would be concretized. And only the My Campus, GKBK and such institution will have some vegetation, provided our directors continues to believe in trees. If they also start thinking of concrete, then you will also see changes happening there. That's where I've been telling, enough is enough. We need to decongest the city. Okay? Now, my study shows urban growth has surpassed the carrying capacity of the region. Carrying capacity of the region depends on the supportive capability of the region and also the assimilative capacity. That is, how much pollutant it can take. Assimilative capability. That also gives a limit on the growth. We do not even look at all those numbers. We just go on. As long as the suitcase flow in the system, we allow the growth to happen in the system. So now let us look at how we have lost the thing. We have done the mapping of trees in the campus. Using global positioning system, which gives the latitude and longitude or the coordinate of the tree, we did a mapping in IISC campus. My campus is 400 acres. I have about 22,000 trees. We are about 5,000 people. For every person, there are 4 trees are there or 5 trees are there. We link that with the remote sensing data, that is a spatial data acquired through the satellites. Like these couple of words, we collected the field data. Then using the remote sensing data for the entire Bangalore, we did the quantification for the entire Bangalore, how many trees are there. Then we overlaid the boundaries of the ward. We know that in each ward, how many trees are there. And when I did the quantification, it showed that about 1.5 million trees, 14,78,000 trees are there in Bangalore for a population of about 95 lakh. And that means for every 7%, 1 tree is there. You might ask, how many trees you require? I am sure you all know why the trees are required. Because there is one building where 224 fellows are there, they don't understand why the trees are required. I did a small experiment to one of the politicians to say that why he requires the tree. I asked my students, that's why I always take my students with me. Whenever such illogical statements come, I request the person to allow me to do the experiment. And people are generous, they allow me to do the thing. In one such case, I asked my student to close the nose of that gentleman who was saying that he doesn't require the tree. And after that he said he requires something. I said that is called Ramachandra in Kannada. You didn't go to the school, but you have become my master. That is my problem in the city. So now when you breathe, you give out carbon dioxide to an extent of 540 to 980 grams per person per day. Younger people 980 grams, while the senior people 540 grams per person per day. 1 hectare of tree take away the carbon to an extent of about 6 to 9 tons. That means for every person there is a requirement of 7 to 8 trees. What we have is 7% 1 tree. And this is nothing new actually, what I am saying. Look at Bible talks about nature conservation at least 320 times. Quran talks about imminent war if you pollute the water body. That's where if you visit Dargah, you have to wash your feet and finger with a clean water. That's where in Dargah there are wells. You pull out the water and then you do that. Similarly, in our literature, Matsya Purana talks about the importance of the water bodies, children and the trees. If you have a well at home, you are wealthy. Okay? 10 wells are equal to the 1 lake. 10 lakes are equal to 1 sarovar. 10 sarovar is equal to 1 child. 10 children are equal to 1 tree. That means benefit of having 10 children, you can have the same benefit by planting and nurturing a tree. I'll put it other way. the people who cut the tree, every time when they cut the tree, they are murdering their own 10 children. This is the message that has to reach the people who always behind the trees and cut the tree. Look at the service provided by the tree in a village, classroom and community meeting happens. Assign the value. What is the auditorium charge you pay here? And with the electricity and all, and assign the same value to that. That you will know what is the importance of the tree. Now let us look at the number of lakes in Bangalore. This is in 1973, this is in 2023. So the doctor, this is again a GIS layer which gives the maps of the lakes. You know that where which lake is there, and you know there has been, we have lost 79% of lakes over a period of time. You know, this gives the interconnectivity, and behind that you give the topography of the region. You know, the undulation in the terrain or the elevation in the terrain. You know, the highest point is here. You know, this point, highest point, I am sitting in the highest point. My institute is in that point. We are number one in the country, and we are one among the top 100. And aptly, we are also at the highest point, elevation-wise, in Bangalore. Okay, that's where we keep cautioning the government very often. You know, these lakes are interconnected, and we need to, first thing is we need to do the interconnectivity, re-establish the interconnectivity among the lakes. Okay, now this gives you how many lakes we have lost. The red one or the lakes what we have lost over a period of time. You know, we have studied all the lakes what is there in Bangalore today. My study shows that 98% of the lakes are encroached. All famous builders are sitting on the lake bed. Lakeview apartments have come up. I don't know how they get the license from the government. When I want to build a thing from last 6 months, I am struggling to get the plans approved. So this is the tragedy in our system. Because I don't want to pay a single pie to any bureaucrat or a policeman in my life. And the Raja Kalways or stormwater drains are improved 82%. Okay? So now you saw that porous landscape, how it has become paved surface. You know, that has led to the depletion in the tree cover. That's where we have oxygen deficiency. We have lost the lakes. Lakes were doing wonderful job of treating the water. You know, that is remediation used to happen. But we don't want that treatment to happen. We put the more and more pollutant, we kill the lake. Then the groundwater table has declined. And now today, the more exploitation is happening. You know, while I have been telling the government, we should not allow the construction sector to use the bore wells. They should use the reuse wastewater. We should treat the wastewater and they should use that. Okay? And if you know that our water situation in Bangalore, 45% comes from the bore wells or the groundwater. Okay? Now let's look at the groundwater situation in the region. All this data is available online. You can also make out what is the availability, what is the demand, and where is the water scarcity is happening. And in spite of this, people who are staying in the Ivory Tower claim that there is no water crisis in Bangalore. Today morning I had a meeting, online meeting, somebody from Mumbai was telling me, he has written an article in Times of India claiming that there is no, the issue in Bangalore, real estate is booming and all those things. This kind of wrong reporting is costing us, and we are losing our water. And let us look at our air environment. When we move around, are we safe? Look at I have done the studies across the 10 cities in the country. The cities where public transport is weak, we have higher emission from the transportation sector, as high as 54% in Hyderabad and 45% in Bangalore. And let us also look at the architecture, what we designed the building. You know, this is a classic case of copy and paste. This architecture is supposed to be for European climate or temperate climate, where to have a thermal comfort you have to have the heat trapped in the building. But unfortunately, engineers of today are all the product of copy paste. They copied that architecture, they pasted it in a tropical climate of Bangalore, and in the process, you know, the people have to use more and more air conditioner and the electricity. You know, when I did a study of 3,000 households, in normal building, people use electricity of 750 to 1200 units per person per year. Whereas in this glass facade building, it's as high as 14,000 to 17,000 units per person per year. See, one copy paste thing. First of all, we got a bad engineer. Then above that, we see that the cost to our natural resources. You know, the city of Bangalore with unplanned urbanization, we lost our ecosystem and higher and emission. We are contributing to the global warming. See, when these greenhouse gases increase in the atmosphere, the warming of the earth happens. When the warming of the earth happens, you have changes in climate. That is where increase in temperature and erratic rainfall, etc. is happening. Let's look at one section of the society in Bangalore that really benefited are doctors. Please don't feel bad if you are doctors, but I'll tell you why it is. You know, the way we are polluting the lakes with a solid and liquid waste. You know, the people use the water for growing the vegetable in the downstream, okay, and the fish in the lake is also eaten. Okay, when we analyze this all this food material, fish or the vegetable, we saw heavy metal in the food. You know, heavy metal getting into our food chain is really a concern. It is contributing to the increase in the cancer and kidney failure in the city. And cancer, we are number one, Bangalore, if you look at the statistic. Kidney failure, which was 1 in 1 lakh about 12 years back, today it's 1 in 5,000. That's where we have more and more dialysis unit in the wards. And the worrying thing is the children are getting this problem. You know, when I go to the school in the Vartu, in a government high school, a boy has lost the kidney, 8th standard. Then in the Vartur KK High School, a girl child in LKG had lost the kidney. And in the same school, when I visited 8th standard, the principal said 2 girls have lost the kidney. Then he wanted me to visit other classes. I said, no, this is enough for me for today, I can't sustain. Then after 6 months when I visited the school, principal told me, when I asked where is this girl, I want to talk to her. He said, she is no more. And the security guard in the school, who again takes all this vegetable, etc., is also died of the kidney failure. See, the youth are the asset of the nation. We are losing the youth because of our irresponsible behavior of contaminating the lake and mismanaging the solid waste, etc. Okay? Now, I thought that, okay, information is missing in the system. Let me give the information. We designed the decision support system, we made it available to the public. See, this is the website. If you click on this, you will get all the details including the water scarcity, what is the solution, etc. I thought that, okay, if information is available to decision maker, they might do better job. That's my goal, but still no change in the system. Then for the lakes also we created a similar portal which provides the lake-wise what is the water quality, the physicochemical and the kind of the biological entities, what kind of fish you get, and even we have tried to put the encroachment details. You know, when I make these details public, somebody told me that you may not be there on the earth for a longer time. I said, I don't care. Let me put it online and see that whether the changes happens in the system. Okay, now let's understand why lakes are required. You know, what is the worth of the thing? You know, we all get fish, the food, water, etc. because of the lake. And it also does the groundwater recharge and moderates the microclimate, and it provides the recreation. Some of you would have gone for jogging in this. Now, when the lake was there, people were getting the water at the less than 100 feet. When the lake was removed, in 5 years it went down to 600 feet. Today, you go to that region, after 22 years, people have gone down to 1,800 feet. There is no water in the 1,800 feet. And we are searching for water in the moon. That's the irony. Okay? Then, some localities, you know, the groundwater table has gone down to 1,600 feet. You might ask, what is the proof for the lake and the groundwater? That's what some very intelligent brains, crooked brains ask me in Bangalore. You know, when we rejuvenated Saraki Lake, removed the silt that is accumulated, within a year the groundwater table increased by 320 feet. And today, after 3 years, you know, when I visit the lake, there is enough water in the lake, and the surrounding bore wells also have a higher the groundwater table. So, and temperature in that locality is 2 to 3 degrees, whereas the other part of the city you see the temperature is much higher. So that means if you can as Rotarian or adapt the lake in your locality and manage it, that's a wonderful service you are doing. And you can also get the publicity with the. Okay, now let us look at the economic value of this kind of services provided. See, when I visit doctor, they say consultancy fee is 1,000 rupees. Just touching me for a few minutes and then they. So the lake also does something similar to that. You know, when I did the quantification, it amounts to about 10,500 rupees per day per hectare. But when we pollute the lake, you know, the worth comes down to 20 rupees per day per hectare. That is mainly because yield of the fish and all comes down when we pollute the lake. So now let us look at how the temperature changes. You know, when the greenery was there, temperature was 21 degrees in the 90s, became 24 degrees in 2000 and 28 degrees in the 2010. Today it's about 36 to 39 degrees. To understand the temperature dynamics in the city, we moved in 8 directions. You see, wherever lakes or parks are there, temperature is 2 degrees lower. And even my campus, temperature is 2 degrees lower because I have 54% green cover in the campus. That's where we can do a good science. Okay? And when we abuse these lakes, what are the problems? Floods and water scarcity. From 2000, every year I see the flooding happening in the region. The same region also faces the drought, water surplus as well as the scarcity of water. And what is the reason? Loss of interconnectivity of the lake and also narrowing the drains. Now look at this. These lakes are interconnected. When you remove this lake, convert it into layout, that is prone to the floods every day, every year. And I have mapped where all interconnectivity is lost. Then the second thing is, whenever the floods happen, you know, the government sanctions a big amount, 1,500 crores. You can do the Google search, you will see that. You know, that money is misused by the bureaucracy to do the concretization of the drain and to do the narrowing of the drain. See, every kilometer of drain concretization, they charge 8 crores. 40% of 8 crores, you know how much. Okay? Then when they narrow the drain, they will have an understanding with the people in the vicinity. And again they make the money. You know, what happened is, in the Koramangala, for example, a lake, Agaram and Belandur was connected with a drain which is about 80 meter. You know, it is reduced to 18.5 meter, 20 meter. You know, 40 meter worth of land is encroached by this one. And that's again the bureaucracy makes a big money there. Then when the flooding happened, when people in Koramangala agitated, you know, I said it is because of this drain. Then BBMP comes up with another drain parallel to this drain. Look at the way the inefficiency and corruption and incapable fellows are there in the system. Okay, now let me summarize what I said so far. Lakes are being used for dumping solid waste, encroachment, lake view apartments are coming up, and lake which was like this in 90s has become like this. With the profuse growth of macrophyte, it is because of the nutrient that is available in the lake, with the sustained inflow of the untreated sewage getting into the lake. You know, when the lake is covered with this, there is no sunlight penetration. In absence of sunlight, algae does not grow. Since algae is not naturally, fish will not grow there. So that's why the worth of the lake comes down to 20 rupees per hectare per day from 10,500 rupees per hectare per day. You know, these are the other things. You know, the frothing in the lake and the fire. I have traveled many countries. Nowhere people have shown the coexistence of fire and water. I tried that in my lab also. It didn't happen. Only Bangaloreans have shown me the coexistence of fire and water by polluting the lake with the industrial effluent. And this is another good example of the froth getting in our system. You know, the detergent what you use at home has a phosphorus. You know, way back in 90s, when the frothing happened in Canada and US and Europe, they banned the detergent with the phosphorus. In our country, our industry manufactures the detergent without phosphate, they export it. Whereas for the Indian market, they push the product with the phosphorus. You know, the consequence of that is that phosphorus is trapped in the sediment. During the April month, when there's a high intensity rainfall, you know, because of the high velocity wind, the churning of the lake happens. It is something equivalent to you putting this soap, powder and stirring. The exactly same thing happened. That's where the frothing happened. Now what is the solution for that? Because international media comes. It was coming to the road. So what did our Babus do? If anyone is Babus here, please feel proud of it. Our technology, what we do. You know, they put the barricade. You know, they said that we have, see, they should have solved the problem of froth, but they put the barricade. Then I wrote an article saying that this is an ad hoc solution, which is not a permanent solution. Then the chief called and told me, no, we have solved the problem. You are always a critic and we take your criticism. That's what he said. I said, your solution is for 4 days. As I predicted, on the 5th day, the froth crossed over. Then again the media is back in the scene. By that time, these fellows had spent 2 crores on this. That is their agenda. Okay? And you can see who all concerned, local people and the Lokayukta. We try to solve the thing. Okay? Now, what is this is a clear example of mismanagement. Why the mismanagement is happening? Because the fragmented and the governance, uncoordinated governance, because of the too many parastate agencies and lack of accountability and transparency in bureaucracy. See, we never question the bureaucracy. When the forest department is there, when forest cover is declining, we should have made them accountable. See, when I don't score, or when my student don't score, I fail them. Why not bureaucracy? Then, I don't know, the legislative system and executive system, judiciary and the media are the 4 pillars of democracy. But they meddle among themselves, you know, legislative system interfering and with the executive system. That's where we have white top roads and all those things. And lack of technical competency in parastate agency. I don't know what is this IAS officer sitting in the organization like BWSSP and all those things. See, we need to remove that. Because of the lack of knowledge and competency, there is a problem. And more importantly, there is a consultant, contractor, engineers and bureaucrats, there is a nexus. All the project, what I say as an expert committee member, when I sit, I feel pity for these engineers. They have reduced themselves to the head clerk. Consultant comes with a illogical proposal, then someone pushes from the government and these fellows just sign the paper. Okay, what is the solution? See, the 74th Constitution, this one, amendment says that we are all empowered with the local governance. We need to assert that. You know, if Rotarian can spend 1 day in a week in these municipalities and we have done our job. Okay? Then we need to revitalize the landscape. You know, create the greeneries and as I said earlier, adopting a lake in your locality is the best thing. When you rejuvenate, you are giving water to everyone in your locality and recreation. So that when you all meet in the weekend in that lake bed, you will also feel energized. Okay? Now let us see how we can reverse the situation. You know, the Bangalore receives 700 to 850 millimeter rainfall, which means I have 15 TMC of rainwater. Okay? Bangaloreans requires 18 TMC of water. That means 70% of the water required for Bangalore is available in the form of rainwater. Okay? Then we are generating 18 TMC of wastewater. Through the nature-based solution, if we treat the wastewater, we get 16 TMC of treated wastewater which can be used for the industries and construction activities. You know, 15 TMC because of the rainwater harvesting, 16 TMC because of the wastewater treatment. I have 31 TMC of water. Now that is a surplus situation. But for that to happen, I have a 5R formula. First R is make people responsible. When they are responsible, they make sure the lakes are not polluted, the lakes are rejuvenated so that I can retain the rainwater. See, if we can retain the rainwater in the lake, groundwater recharge happens with the clean water. You will have a clean water. You don't need any treatment technology for that. Then if we treat the wastewater through the nature-based solution, as I have done in Jakkur Lake, which I am going to talk in another 1 or 2 minutes, we will get the treated wastewater. Okay? Now, what are the interventions we have done? You know, at least through science, I have reached the society need wastewater treatment, nature-based solution. Then creating the water bodies and creating a mini forest in involved, and more importantly, sensitizing the youth. when youth have the environmental knowledge, they become sensible. When they become sensible, they will be responsible. When they are responsible, we will not have the water crisis on the earth. So now, what is the nature-based solution I did in Jakkur Lake? See, when I studied Jakkur Lake way back in 2005, surrounding that there were 30 wells for them. All of them had nitrate. Nitrate is a carcinogen which introduces cancer, which is mainly because people were letting the untreated sewage into the lake which had nitrogen. As it moved through the groundwater, it was oxidized and became a nitrate. Then we pushed the government to rejuvenate the lake. I was in the committee. At that time, the government said they can give the money so that I can have a secondary treatment plant. You know, the wastewater treatment has 3 levels: primary, secondary and tertiary. Primary treatment will remove large particles, secondary treatment will remove the chemical ion, tertiary treatment is required to remove the nutrient like N and P. Now, the secondary treatment plant money what is given by the government is not sufficient, we will not remove the nitrate. So my problem was a nitrate, it was to be removed. Then what I did is, I integrated constructive wetland and algal pond along with that. You know, constructive wetland, these are all the marshy plant like colocasia, which you call Kesai in Kannada. So, and some of the grasses which grow in the marshy area. So, they do the wonderful job of taking that N and P. They want anyway Sarachanaka and Ranjak, so they uptake that. When they do that, the lake will not have the nutrient. You know, now today there are 300 wells surrounding the Jakkur lake. None of the wells have the nitrate. I have the satisfaction of giving a clean water at least to the 300 well users in the Jakkur lake. This is a simple nature-based solution. What I learned in rural area when I travel or my village, the same technology I have brought it, and this the last 10 years we monitored the lake by students monitored, and this the document is available online, and many people have referred it and they have tried to implement in their cities, etc. throughout the country. Now I also came up with the rejuvenation of Velandur and Vattur lake. You know, it was gathering dust for almost a year. Then some youth approached me. I said, you all come in the organization, I have to waste time convincing you people, but after that we are different. Then I gave a copy of the report to them. They took it to the Supreme Court. In the process, Supreme Court, the NGT bench penalized the government of Karnataka 500 crores based on my report. And that money is kept in escrow account and which is being used for rejuvenating the Velandur and Vattur lake. These are the 2 major lakes in Bangalore. You know, the local army has helped me in this study. So now we did the scientific study to understand what is the water quality, sediment quality, etc., and how much sediment is removed. To rejuvenate the lake, you have to decontaminate the lake. That means whatever the contaminant is accumulated in the lake, you have to remove. And you have to arrest the contaminant coming to the lake. That means you should not allow the untreated sewage and industrial effluent getting into the lake. So now to see that how much the silt has to be removed, we did the bathymetric study. We found out what is the current depth, and we also looked at what is the historical depth. When you take the difference of the two, you will come to know how much sediment is to be removed. And our study shows about 11 million cubic meter of the silt is accumulated in these 2 lakes. When I released this report, some great people in Bangalore came up saying that, oh, TVR is going to create a traffic problem with these innovative ideas, that so many trucks have to be moved in the city. Then I gave an economic value. If I convert this silt into the brick, what is the worth of that? It's about 1,500 crore. Then we also looked at the nutrient content in the lake. If you look at N, you can fertilize soil in Punjab. If you look at the P content in the silt of these 2 lakes, you can fertilize soil in Uttar Pradesh. Similarly, if you look at potash, you can fertilize soil in Andhra Pradesh. So then the economic value is about 16,000 crores. Then people thought, okay, there is a money to that. So then, okay, see, every human being, first thing is how much money they can make. That is what is their agenda. Okay? You know, that silt, when they talked about it, I had a meeting with the local farmers in the Vattur. You know, I convinced the government to give the silt without any charge to the farmers. In fact, bureaucrats were coming up with all kinds of illogical. Why should we give it freely? I said, you are taking it 14 kilometers away in your truck. Instead of that 3 kilometers, you dump it here, I said. Then, of course, Chief Secretary at that time agreed for that. Then, when I visit this lake, every month, quite often I go, You know, in my first visit after 3 months, the farmers gave a royal welcome to me with this kind of vegetable. You know, each farmer tells me they earn 1,50,000 rupees per acre in one season crop of growing vegetable, radish, brinjal, etc. You know, 400 acres into 1.5 lakh, and they grow thrice a year. What is the worth of the same? That is the nutrient. See, that's where I said, as a Rotarian, if you take up this, you are fertilizing the soils in the neighborhood. At the same time, you have solved the problem of the groundwater in the region. That is the most important thing. See, you can give anything, but good water if you give, there is a health in the system. Okay? And that is where we convey to the people. That's where we organize a symposium once in 2 years, popularly known as Lake Symposium. You know, the uniqueness of this event is the participation by the school and college students. 20 to 25% of my audience are the school and college students. You know, they do simple experiments like the nature monitoring, the carbon sequestration, lake monitoring, water quality monitoring. These kids come to my lab. They have been trained how to collect the sample and analyze. By my students, they come to my lab, they do the analysis. Similarly, the rural area, the children do the mapping in the neighborhood. You know, they learn what is GIS, so that people like Amit need not wait till they become doctor to find out what is GIS. So that is the thing. So now, look at what is the other intervention. See, this is a lake I have created in the lake, which stores about 10 lakh liters of water. Okay, you know, this lake is a good experimental this one for my student to look at the water quality. Not only students are happy, you know, I have otter in the campus. Can you imagine? At one end Bangalore is dying, other end of my campus I have an otter. I'm sure you all know otter is Nirnai, we call it. And for otter to be there, it is like a Keralite voracious eater of fish. I don't go and feed the fish to that. But when we did the biodiversity mapping, we saw that enough fish is already there in the lake. By me storing the water, the nature has done the job. Message here is, you know, I store 10 lakh liters of water here. You know, I stay on the campus, I require 500 liters per day. 1.5 or 2 lakh liters I require. But I am putting back 10 lakh liters of water back in the good form. You know, the entire community is benefited with that. This is a similar thing whenever I meet people, whoever is influential and good, we make sure they replicate this model. This is done in Mudbidre. You can see within a year how the prosperity has come with greenery and all. The region which was struggling for water has converted into this. To put it on the lighter side, you know, this is in Alva's college. The success was because of the youth. You know, Alva's CEO also quite young. You know, when after he created the water body based on my suggestion, earlier he was struggling to get married. After creating the water body, within 6 months, he gets a partner, wonderful partner, who take care of the joint family. If you have children at home, if you are thinking of marriage of the children, first create a water body in your village so that you are providing the water and your children also will be very happy with that. Okay, then come to my campus. Of course, today, Narasimhan and Amit had opportunity to visit me. So now you see this climber in the campus. I was fascinated by this architecture. I felt I should have it in the campus. I brought those seeds, 14 seeds were there in the pot. Out of 14, 7 I kept in my lab. Other 7 I planted in 7 locations. Out of 7 locations, only 1 location it has survived. It is next to this building, where I have worked for almost 2 decades. This building you had visited, where my herbarium, Professor Shankar Rao is there. In front of that you would have seen this, the creeper, which is this one, okay? And in front of that building we created a mini forest, in a 2 hectares area. 49 native species, 500 saplings were planted when I was a student, in 90s. Today you get a feel of the rainforest. Not only that, you see the variety for wild animals. The slender loris, 4 families are there. They are better than human being, because they at least alert me what time I should leave for home. At 7 o'clock you start calling. That is the time my students come and meet me. At 9 o'clock they stop calling. That's the time my students say, you get out of this place, your friend has stopped calling. So see, this is how the nature clock works. And more importantly, groundwater in that region, which was 150 feet, today I have water at 10 feet. Okay, temperature is another 2 degrees lower. I have published this. And this is the model to be replicated. If every ward in our city, if every village has this kind of mini forest, your water problem in our country you have solved. That's what is to be done. Okay? And that is what I communicate to the wider section of society. When you are young, my audience runs into 1,000. When senior people come, it comes to less than 50. Okay? And this is how we communicate. And this is a glimpse of the environment management course. I have done 21 courses. That means I am doing capacity building at all levels. School level as well as for the professionals, etc. My hope is that when I sensitize them, they become responsible. That's what my country requires. So if you need more details, you can write to me. Please keep in mind I don't use mobile. I have a lot of time to write an email. So please do that. And these are the portal where you can get all my publication, what I speak and all those things. In YouTube also you will get the details. Okay? And this gives the glimpse of the web page, and YouTube you will get all my talks. My agenda is to sow the seeds of knowledge in this young brain. They will become an asset to the nation. And when they do a good job, they will keep smile on everybody's face. Thank you very much. If there are any questions, I would be happy to take it.
We tried one in TVRAMACHANDRA, that is part of Ramachandra, which comes under PRD.
Yeah.
But the problem is that involvement of BBMP, MLA, this, that, such a beautiful project we had planned, and everything was well planned. Funds also were part of it, but due to these problems, it didn't happen.
The main problem last year.
Yeah, he was very much involved.
There is a court order which says CSR funds cannot be taken. So when we went to BBMP, the lake authority, everybody gave permission. But the BBMP officer said, it showed me the court order. He said there is a court order which says CSR funds cannot be taken for lake beautification. So we are trying to get this stay vacated. This is not happening.
And also the residents of the area can also contribute. That's also the part of the program. So if you are like, for example, if you are staying in HSR layout, you want to do Agara Lake, for example, those residents do not do it. Because the court order says that the BBMP has to do it with their funds.
No, BBMP can do it, provided we should act as a catalyst and make the similar model has worked in other places. Saraki Lake, for example, BBMP did it. But whatever the shortages, the CSR, they have done it. And BBMP at that stage, they cooperated with the thing, there was no problem. So it depends on the people who are in the bureaucracy and how they take the things. There are good people in BBMP, the Lake Division, Satish, Jagannath Rao, and they did a wonderful job. I used to interact with them when they are there, now they are retired. So the things will work. If there are anything of that kind, you let
One
me.
more thing, we did one lake project, it was a private lake, and it did wonderful, and it's still going on well. And that person has become a member of our.
Member of okay.
Our rally.
Okay, that is a good.
IIT for IITians, they have a cluster Fernandez, Joe Fernandez. He puts in voluntary contribution, saying the silk is sold to the farmers. They pay when they garden and take those cuts. So we involved with them and try to do it.
Outside the BBMP.
Easier to do in the outskirts.
No, actually within the city also is not difficult. Only some minor hurdles we have to get over that. Sometimes that discourages us, but it is possible to do that. See, actually, the BBMP Lake Division, the Sapna is there and the current CEO is also good. It's not that difficult to do this. Whereas BDA I understand. But for BDA people like me are required. So then it will work. We have made them to work. Okay, that is possible.
Actually, I walked around Sandy Tank. Nowadays, see, there is no depth in that lake at all.
Yes.
Full of solid rocks are around. I don't know. It is best kept a decent actually.
That is true. Only the thing is, every once in 2 years they come up with all kinds of concretization, and that's how they are killing the thing. You said you were in that region. Sankey, there was a floating fountains we put it. It was working. In the name of rejuvenation, they disconnected. When I wrote to them, they said it will be reconnected as soon as the work is done. After the 2 years I have been writing, still even last week somebody have met me from BBMP for some other technical. I said that you first do that and come back to me, I said.
About day back it was stinking.
It was sticking.
Water level.
So there are fish there. No, actually what happens is because of the evaporation, the water level has come down, there is no rain. And second thing is there are some sewage still enters. That is where the toxic algae is growing, microcystis. There is a smell because of that, and also some amount of ammonia is this one. That's where the problem is. You have hydrogen sulfide which gives the odor and all those things. But Sankey is at least that you can think about having the fountain. Make sure that earlier thing is working, or at least the new one. That will make the job. Then you will not have microcystis problem at all. So, and that is a good investment in that locality, because I see large number of youth and elders take a walk in the early morning and in the evening. So that suddenly works.
The fountain is not 2 years. Actually, I have not seen it work in the last 5 years.
They took 2 years to rejuvenate the lake, and after rejuvenation 2 years I will show you. So that is this one. So but always in democracy we should have the hope. That's where our voting percentage, can you see? 53%. That does. Yes, sir.
I have a question. Talking about the lakes being disconnected and so flow water into the lakes, all the different types of used to be there in the earlier years.
Yeah.
So that flow has stopped. Everything is concretized. What should we do as a society to reconnect those lakes? What is the solution?
See, one is that what we need to do is we need to be proactive and remove all the encroachers, irrespective of their status. If politician is sitting, you have to do it. If in Nagar, a film hero is sitting, Sarathi is sitting on the drain. I have been telling him, this is not correct, okay? So like that, we need to do that. That is where we need to have the drainage, the stormwater drains. I don't know why it is with the BBMP. It should have been with BWSSP. That we could have made them accountable. That is unfortunate. When Lokayukta rated the chief engineer of BBMP, that drainage SWM division, how much money they got? It is equivalent to the amount of encroachment that has happened in the system there. The solid waste dumping as well as the encroachment.
So that is one is the rainwater drains. But there were natural flows earlier.
Yes.
So
It was the drain only, the natural flow, it was in the drain. Earlier we didn't have that particular shape, we used to feel that. But now in the name of remodeling they have done that. The wider thing they made it as smaller.
concrete drains actually works the opposite. You should not have concrete drains. You should have
It is again the hydrological functioning of the lake, of the drain. That is the groundwater recharge which to happen. Now by concretizing we are not doing that. That's an unfortunate thing. That I have been telling the government, even based on my letter to the NGT. NGT has given the order saying that we cannot concretize. These fellows misinterpret the order. They say that you talk about Belandur Vartu, the order is meant for Belandur Vartu, not for the other. So that is where we need to be. See, that is where I said, 74th amendment of the Constitution empowers all of us. Let us assert. If every citizen in Bangalore start questioning, no bureaucrats can do this. That's.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Ramachandra, for a very enlightening talk. I was wondering if instead of looking at the lakes, the rejuvenation of lakes, it seems to be a monumental problem. Because the lakes and the drainage is all owned by people who are not sensitive. It's a very, very major issue. I don't think citizens have the capacity to, and any amount of NGOs and people not work as
Sir, we have shown the success model. I have been showing one after the other. Sarki Lake, Belandur Vartur. You ask my student how much time we have to spend. My student also travel with me, and we are doing it. we are moving with the hope. If you have looked at, 3 times I was attacked, but still I am alive. Okay, that is the thing. Okay.
Now, I was wondering if you could evaluate another technology which is recharging groundwater directly through wells rather than through lakes. I mean,
That
lakes
is,
is very ambitious.
that is again a good thing.
One well per acre.
No, you don't have to have the well. You can even have the recharge pit.
Yeah.
You know, recently there is a organization called Biome is doing that in a big way. That is again another thing. See, sir, we need to have a multi-pronged thing. You know, lake does for a huge area. Your recharge pit, you to replicate that will be this one. It is like your overhead tank has the water. You are trying to fill your tank with a cup of water every time. That is that makes the youngster to lose the heart in that. So whether the lake it will work. See, if lakes are
Lakes have other
no,
benefits.
I tell you the other day DCP of Bangalore East came to my lab. Okay, he has a lake in Parapara, Agrahara, this one. He came there to talk to me. He said, sir, there is an encroachment and all those things. I just told him, sir, your constable have to have the physical exercise. You just make them to go around the lake every 1 hour. Nobody will encroach the lake. Similarly, the schools in the locality, if they go around this lake in their locality, no one will encroach. That we have proved it in Vattu. We prevented by the KK High School and the Ramachandra government high school children. They didn't do the violent thing. The silent protest itself has worked.
It has to be a mass public movement, otherwise.
Sir, one man has to decide it will work. That man should not worry about what happens tomorrow. I always tell my family, don't worry if I don't come back. That's all. Then things will work. So because every crook will know this fellow is not going to die. So then, so okay.
We salute your spirit.
Sure.